Ladies and gentlemen, Jezza has announced the budget. Not the Jezza you're thinking of, but frankly, it sounds to me like they would have both done the same job, i.e. a terrible one. I'm sure you've all seen the headlines by now, but let's have a look at who they thought it was a good idea to throw money at. From The Independent, Chancellor announces £1 million memorial for them fellas. Strangely enough, Sajid Javid was among those to call for funding, nodding in acknowledgement of the financial commitment. Yeah, what are we going to pay for next? Are we going to all chip in to buy Abu Hamza a new hook? The Tories are unbelievable. If it kicks off over in Northern Ireland again, we'll be paying to parachute a few pallets full of Benson and Edges in for Seamus McTaggarty and the likes. It's honestly unbelievable, but it's just more of the obvious what I keep telling you lot. The Tories have spent the last 10 years pandering to the wishes of the people that will never ever vote for them and have always despised them and will always despise them because they took the votes of people like me who was daft enough to vote for the albino jellyfish for granted. That's why they're getting trounced in the next general election, and that's why I've been calling for at least the last 2 years for us to hold our noses, vote for any third option, and just embrace the fact that we've got to endure 4 years under Keir and hope we've got a country to come back to at the end of it. However, out of morbid curiosity, let's look at what else we've decided to waste our money on this year, shall we? Before I start on the meat of the budget, let me just finish up regarding this story. £1 million will be given towards the cost of building a memorial to honour the same group of people we launched 8 crusades against. Yeah, brilliant idea that. As he began his budget speech, Jeremy Hunt vowed that past sacrifices made by those who lost their lives, no matter their faith, colour or class, will be forgotten. Yeah, no matter their faith, colour or class, but one group of people has to have a very special memorial of their own. It's ludicrous. It's like they're deliberately trying to antagonise people like me who actually fought for my country and not in some Mickey Mouse mess tin repair regiment. In a commando unit, 5 times. We were always told that the poppy, the normal bog standard red poppy, was perfectly fine as it was, and ignorant people like, what's his name, that Celtic footballer? James McLean, that's it. The point everybody always made was that he was stupid for getting angry about a poppy because it memorialises everybody of every group, anybody who ever fought in a war. And now, amazingly, the Tories have managed to undo all of that rhetoric, and he's been proved right. Because if they're saying, oh, by the way, but one special followers of one very certain religion founded by an epileptic midget with a punch-on for buggery, if they've got to have the special memorial all of their own, well then James McLean was right, wasn't he? It was all nonsense. Everyone has to have their own special memorial, and I want one for hairy, bad-tempered northern monkeys with boulders on both shoulders. That's what I want. Make me a memorial. Put it up in Middlesbrough, and it has to be near my house, and it also has to be memorialising people with blue eyes and size 9 feet. Just do that. It's staggering that they've done this. Are we going to build a special memorial for Sikhs and Hindus and Jains and Christians and agnostics and atheists? Does everybody get one? Why does one special group, a group that's been aggressively antagonistic towards us for decades, why do they get a special memorial all of their own? I want one. Build me one. Jezza, you absolute rat. I mean, he even looks like a rat. I've been saying this for years now. I'd rather get diddled by Labour, because at least Labour are openly hostile towards me. The Tories called themselves Conservative, and they're anything but. If a bloke in a stripy sweater and a mask mugs me, I feel a lot better than getting stabbed in the back and turning around and finding out it's me granddad that's done it. It's shocking. I despise the Conservatives. I really would rather have Keir Starmer. I'm tempted to vote for him at this point. Anyway, on to the rest of the budget. Let's have a look at the litany of stupidity that they've lumbered us with now. Look at him. He really has got a face you'd never get tired of slapping. Non-doms abolished. So yeah, pinching a Labour policy. Brilliant. I'm well glad the Conservatives are using Labour policies. An ISA when people haven't got a pot to piss in. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. No point having an ISA if you haven't got 2 pennies to scratch your arse with, is there? Child benefit threshold rise. A drop in the ocean. The only people the UK government's been helping have children for the last 3 decades are people like Mick Philpott, and he had so many kids, he set 4 of them on fire. It's preposterous. The only people they look after are the very, very rich and the very, very poor. If you live in a sink estate and you've produced nothing of use for the country for 40 years, and you're going to be a granddad at 42 years old, or they'll square you away. If you're a hard-working plumber or a bricklayer, you get the square root of jack shit off these people. Levies on alcohol and fuel have been frozen again. Again, when you raise them every year for 10. It's cheaper to get a pint in California now than it is in the UK. Embarrassing. Even Wetherspoons is expensive now. That's how you know things have gone completely tits up. When Wetherspoons has started getting dear. He announced that day-to-day spending on public services will continue to rise by 1% a year. Amazing. So no more cuts. Just keep spending, even though we've got nothing. We haven't got a pot of... In fact, we've got less than nothing. I've told you lot this before. When you walk past a scruffy homeless bloke outside the bookies, and he's there with his greyhound, shaking a paper cup for change, he's got more money than us, than the British government, because he's at least on 0, and the UK government is on -3 trillion. The country is a joke. The people that are running it are an embarrassment, and the blokes waiting in the wings is just as bad. Misery loves company. So, winner. As I said, prep as best you can, buckle up, and strap yourselves in. Because it's going to get way, way worse before it gets any better. If you're not eating grass by 2027, I'll be over the moon for you. Because it's not looking likely. History just repeats. They talked about there being 3 weeks rubbish in the streets and unburied dead outside the graveyards when Thatcher first took over. We're going to get a repeat of that before anything gets better. What you'll need to do is, if your granddad dies in the next few years, you just have to splay his fingers, stuff him, and then use him as a hat stand, because you're not going to be able to bury him. But maybe I'm just being a cynic. You know me, I'm a bit pessimistic. If you disagree and you think Jez has done a fine job, you let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to call you a raving lunatic. Alright? Thanks for tuning in as always. I'll see you all very soon. Toodle pip.